Welcome back. In a moment, we'll be talking about how celebrities keep making money even after they've died. But first, here are some other stories to keep an eye on. The Philippine President, Rodrigo Duterte, will visit China next week. The recently elected president has opted to put aside years of hostility with China, especially over the disputed South China Sea, to form a new partnership amid strained ties with the US. Clashes between armed men and troops in Myanmar's Rakhine state have left at least 12 people dead. Most people in the impoverished area are stateless Muslim Rohingya, whose nationalists identify as illegal immigrants. Escalating violence in the region poses a major challenge for the country's new democratic leadership. The UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, Zeid Ra'ad Al Hussein, has said it would be dangerous for international politics if Donald Trump were to be elected president. The Commissioner cited Republican candidates' views on vulnerable communities and torture. Now they're gone, but certainly not forgotten. Forbes has just released its annual list of top-earning dead celebrities. And even though they can't take it with them, that hasn't stopped some superstars earning many millions after their death. Let's give you some examples, shall we? Let's have a look at the list. At number 5 is the singer Prince, who died earlier this year from an accidental drug overdose. At the time of his death, Prince's estate was worth an estimated $300 million. This year, he brought in $25 million. At number 4, the king of rock and roll, Elvis Presley. Ticket sales to his Graceland property and his back catalogue of music have earned the star's estate $27 million. Third on the list is the US professional golfer Arnold Palmer, who died last month of heart disease. He racked up $40 million this year, with his line of drinks alone is a $200 million business. Second on the list is the creator of Charlie Brown, Charles Schulz. While he often features on the list, it was last year Peanuts movie that helped boost the cartoonist's earnings to $48 million. He died 16 years ago from colon cancer. And topping this year's list, you've guessed it, it was the king of pop, Michael Jackson. He's earned a 9-figure sum every year since his death in 2009, and this last year was no different. The star topping the list with that $825 million. And we should, of course, also let you know who the highest earning female on the list was. It was the 1950s pin-up girl Bettie Page, who ranked 10th. The company that manages her image rights made $11 million from clothing and a lingerie range bearing her image. Well, to discuss that further, I'm joined by Stephanie Taki, who's an entertainment journalist. Stephanie, this amount of money these people can earn is quite phenomenal. Let's talk about Michael Jackson first.
Yes.
He, or his estate or his managers, invested quite wisely in the rights to other people's music beyond his own, didn't they?
Totally. Well, this year what's kind of kept them in the black is they sold their 50% share of their Sony and ATV publishing catalogue, which is famous for the Beatles records, and they sold it to Sony for like a whopping $750 million. So wise moves like that will always make sure that they will be getting money, even though he's gone. His music still lives on, especially that catalogue as well. He purchased it years ago and it's still relevant today.
So they sold half of it, so there'll be more earnings to come from that.
Totally.
And I think I'm right in saying he earns a lot of money from his records too, although he has to share, of course, with composers and arrangers and things like that. And isn't there a statistic, there's a Michael Jackson song being played on the radio somewhere around the world just all the time, isn't it?
All the time, and it's fascinating that it's only getting bigger and bigger. He died 6 years ago, and every year since he's died, he's made 9 figures straight. And that's from music and merchandise as well.
And the way that that's managed, I mean, Forbes calculate these things that are even slightly tangential to the star, do they? If there's a sort of marketing device or something to raise a bit of money, they'll attribute that to the star as well.
Yeah, they will, because it's quite an infrastructure in the sense where it's many different parts of a brand that makes up a superstar. So all that stuff is all valid.
So for instance, Elvis. Now, we know about Graceland, his home. You can still go and visit there, and of course you pay and all the souvenirs you can buy.
Yeah.
What else makes up that total?
Well, last year alone, he released his 53rd top 40 album, which is Elvis Presley Lives Forever. And stuff like that keeps him still relevant with the music. And also, there is still a lot going on with his estate. And alone, 500,000 people visit the estate each year.
Right, that's doing the visits and the tours
Yeah.
and the Graceland and so on. Yes, and they keep reinventing ways, don't they? I was hearing only the other day, they've now taken his voice somehow and put that with a big Philharmonic orchestra here in London. And now that's some kind of stadium tour people can go to. So they're being very inventive.
And definitely, I think that's what keeps these artists relevant, because they're also keeping up with the new technology that's available. So even though someone like Elvis could have died over 30 years ago, he's still relevant thanks to technology. So with that kind of investment, we are going to see these celebrities still making up money after they've passed on.
But lingerie from the 50s.
Yes.
Now, you explain, why is that still big in 2016?
Well, we've always been fascinated by the glamour girl and the glamour pin-up girl, and Bettie Page was that icon for that, and she was quite smart in terms of lingerie. Women always have a need for lingerie, and her face is still being marketed on several different products, which is still relevant and will still keep her relevant
Such
today.
a time goes by. She was famous because I suppose she was on billboards, wasn't
Yes.
she? I mean, we didn't have the widespread television exposure, we didn't have social media, we didn't have any of those things, we didn't have reality television programs. She was largely, if you like, a poster girl, wasn't she?
It's that
traditional printed advertising.
It's that iconic image that lives on for people. It's like with Albert Einstein, he is still relevant today because he is iconic, and then you've got iconic kind of bobbleheads. It's the image that even if it's not from your generation, you still have a connection with it once you see that image, and you end up introducing a new audience of people who will get fascinated of icons gone by yesterday.
Now, you mentioned Einstein.
Yes.
Surely, I cannot believe he's on a list. By what route is he or his estate still earning money?
His estate have made 11.5 million, and that's all been from merchandise alone, like from letterheads, mugs, from little bobblehead statues. All of that stuff keeps him relevant, and anytime Einstein's name is used on something, they're still getting paid for it.
And everybody loves Charlie Brown, of course. We always remember the cartoon. But I think we're right in saying that prominence or level in last year's chart is largely due down to the movie, wasn't it?
Totally. The movie banked $248 million worldwide. And it goes to show how there is that continuing interest in Charlie Brown and co., which will obviously still make him, Charlie, still relevant with all people.
And who knows, if one movie is successful, no doubt they'll want to do another, won't they?
Definitely. It's just success leads on to another success.
OK, Stephanie, thank you very much indeed. Thanks. Now, we end our programme with the Insight Bite. This is a little something that we feel you should know. And today, we ask, is it art or an illusion? That's a question many people have been asking about this work, created by the artist James R. Eads and the animator Chris McDaniel. The pair have been collaborating on a series of animated drawings entitled Illusions, and the results are mesmerising. The work has also had up to 1 million views on social media. Now, Eads makes his original artworks using a digital tablet, and his final drawings are then animated by McDaniel, who uses a morphing program to create an illusion of breathing. This is a lengthy process. It can take from between 4 to 8 hours. Well, that's all the illusioning we can do for today. That's all for now. I'm Martin Stanford. That was Insight.